What's your why? That is our topic today. But first, welcome to the voiceover huddle. We do it every single day of the week, work week, here on the YouTubes where we just talk voiceover and kind of help motivate you and drive your business forward. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a full-time voice actor and voiceover coach and author of the book, The Voiceover Blueprint. You can grab that with the link below. For less than $10, you can get the digital copy as well as the audiobook and 4 free bonus gifts. So check that out if you would. And then, of course, chime in on the chat. We're going to do some shout outs in a few minutes. And always like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. We always appreciate that. We just passed 84,000 subscribers, all thanks to people like you for being here. So thank you so much. Okay, right into it. What is your why? Why do you do this? Why do you do voiceover? And there are no wrong answers, by the way. There's plenty of reasons why you do this. But I want to point you to a video that I remember watching probably, I don't know, 12 or more years ago when I worked for GoDaddy in their communications department. There's a video by a guy named Simon Sinek. And some of you may know who Simon is. He's a leadership coach. He actually does the very same thing that my wife does, which is he coaches, you know, Fortune 500 leaders on how to be better leaders. But he kind of became famous because of this viral video. He had one of the very first kind of viral TED Talks back, like I said, I think it was originally like in 2010 that he actually did this. But this video went viral, and it's all about starting with why. And the whole fundamental philosophy of his video, and by the way, I'm going to put a link. In fact, I'll do it right now. I'm going to put a link to the video in the chat right there. So if you want to go check it out, go check it out. But the whole philosophy of the video is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. I'm going to say it again. They don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Okay? So you need to know your why before you actually sell your services. They don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So what is your why? Watch that video, and he gives a lot of great examples. Apple, Martin Luther King, the Wright brothers, lots of examples on what you or why you do things, and that people will buy why you do it, not what you do. Okay? So here's my why. Are you ready? It's not going to blow your head off. It's pretty simple. I like to help people tell stories. That's it. I don't care if it's an e-learning or a commercial or whatever. I like to help people tell stories. And in all of my marketing communication, and this kind of goes back to what we talked about yesterday, what was it? It was, no, I've already forgotten it. It was, wow, I just completely lost it. I'm sorry. Um, oh yeah, the I, it's not about you. Sorry. Wow. Still early for me. It's not about you. Okay. It's about what you can do for them and why you're doing it for them. Okay. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So the video is only about 18 minutes long. Take some time and watch it. There's a link in the chat to go check it out. If you're watching this after the fact, just do a search on YouTube for Simon Sinek. Start with why. That's the name of the video, and it's from 2010. It's a great video. Love it. I've watched it so many times. I used to be a supervisor at GoDaddy, and I would show it to my team to get them on board with what we were doing. And yeah, that's it. So my story is my why is I like to help people tell stories. And sure, it's nice to get paid to do that, you know, and it's definitely more fun than, digging ditches. But it is so important that you know your why. Your why might you might think your why is about getting paid, making a living, earning money for your family, right? That's not really a why, that's a result. That's a result of your why. So try to find out what your why is and get that across to your client or your potential client. If you can get across to them what your why is, that's going to go a whole lot further than just, telling them about your fast turnaround time and your attention to detail and that kind of thing. Those are all great things, by the way, to have. Um, but it's about your why. So if you can get that across to your potential client, it's going to go so much further in them potentially hiring you. Maybe your why is you want to do voices for awesome cartoon characters or video games or movies and stuff like that. That is a huge why. That creative side of coming up with interesting new characters. But how do you do that? And that kind of leads me to my next thing, which is we still have about 5 days left for Dave Fenoy's character creation method class. If you don't know who Dave Fenoy is, he is just a legend in this business. He did a class or a series of classes for us a while back that we have put on sale on the VoiceOver Blueprint. So if you use the code DF400, you'll be able to get $400 off that. But Dave, like I said, he is a legend in creating video characters or video game characters and narration. I'm sorry, and animation characters, and nobody better. And his credits are longer than who knows what. So if you're interested in that aspect of why you want to be in voiceover, check that link in the description and grab it before it goes back to the regular price. Now, people had some confusion as to whether or not this is one of our monthly live training webinars where we bring in an expert. It's not that. These classes were recorded previously, so they're for immediate access. You pay for it, you get it immediately, and you can start learning. We do have our regular monthly class coming up, and a little bit more about that later, but this has already been done. You just get it, and you have immediate access. You can jump in and start learning from Dave, who is a master at this craft of creating cool characters and crazy characters for video games and animation. So check that out. But also check out that video. Simon Sinek, Start with Why. It'll change the way you look at this business. Okay? All right, let's see what's going on over here. There's Don. Hi, everyone. Hope all is well from South Africa. Good to see you. Good morning to you. Excuse me. And there's Mark from Montreal. Hey, Grady from Brownsville, Texas. And there's Jim, morning from Memphis. I saw your skateboarding link is up. Yes, I I was originally planning to release the documentary on some of the streaming platforms, but the red tape and the hoops to jump through on those platforms to get something up is just ridiculous. So I decided to screw it, and I just uploaded it to YouTube for free. So if you want to check that out, go to YouTube, just look up Knoxville, a skateboarding history. It's about an hour, and you can watch that video for free on the internet. Also, just make sure if you're going to watch it, or if you would please, if you do watch it on a TV, you know, put it, hopefully you've got a smart TV. You can watch YouTube stuff on TV. Don't watch it on your phone. Don't watch it on a tablet or your computer. Watch it on something bigger than that, because I think it deserves it. So check it out. Oh, let's see. There's Celeste. Buenos tardes from New York. Not New York, Newark, Delaware. And Edward from Jacksonville, Florida. And Charlie from Sparta, Wisconsin. Jim says, switched to a shotgun mic yesterday, and I actually like my voice with it. Well, that's a plus. First of all, the amount of time we spend listening to our own voice in this business, you should hopefully like your voice anyway. Everybody, when they first hear their voice on tape or recorded back and played back to them, they're like, "Ooh, do I sound like that?" And that's this whole thing with the biology of your skull and how your vocal cords resonate inside your skull and that whole thing. But you should already like your voice if you do this at any level. But I'm glad that now that you've got a shotgun mic, you like the way your voice sounds. Shotgun mics are great. In fact, well, I've got one right here, but it is the preferred microphone for the TV affiliate work that we are currently in the middle of training people on for the TV affiliate boot camp. Most of the people in that class have switched over to a shotgun mic, and will probably end up using it for more than just TV affiliate. That's what I did. I bought this mic for TV affiliate, but I use it all the time now. It's my daily mic. So good for you. There's Happy and Joyful from Florida, and Scotty from Brookings, South Dakota. There's Sean, says, good morning from Longview. And there's Tim, good afternoon from Altoona, and Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina. Notice I said Greenville instead of Greenville. It's because I'm from the South and I know the difference. People down there say Greenville. Like, I'm from Knoxville, but I'm really from Knoxville. Jim says, how much is the voiceover blueprint in print? Well, it's not in print. There's no such thing. So I guess I could say $0 because it doesn't exist. There is no print version of it. The only print version of it. Oh, you mean okay, I'm sorry. You mean the book. I'm sorry. Yes, I believe the book in print. I thought you meant our training program. Our book, the book in print on Amazon, I believe is $14.99, I think, for the hard copy or the paperback. $14.99. Andrew's Piano says hello from India. Hello, Andrew's Piano. Good to see you there. And there's Denise. Hi from Long Island. And Maria from Rhode Island. Long Island, Rhode Island. And there's Sarah from Kentucky. Good morning, Sarah. And Dennis. Good morning from Dennis in Pasadena. Timothy says, why? How about why not? That's a good one. Like it. Wayne says, gone fishing, but still have a signal. Nice. Yeah, it's nice to decompress. And if you're into fishing, go fishing. Scotty says, big Simon fan, listening to Leaders Eat Last audiobook right now. Yeah, that's another one of his big books. He's written several books, but Leaders Eat Last is one of those. Once again, most of his content is geared towards leaders, but this video that I posted is, yes, he talks about leadership in there as well, but it's also, the bigger picture is about why you do what you do. Theo says, happy Taco Tuesday from the top of the tall tower in downtown T, Chicago. A lot of T's in there. Thank you, Theo. Hey, there's a T in Theo, too. And there's Bob from Wadsworth, Ohio, and David from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Tracy says, good morning from Rochester, Minnesota. Don says, my why is I love bringing life to a script, and I find it fulfilling as a performer. Yes, that is huge. And I'd say that's probably not just yours. There's probably a lot of people who have that same why. JJ says, Theo, such a wordsmith you are. Happy Tuesday from Minnesota. Dave's class is terrific. Yeah, JJ apparently had taken Dave's class previously. And yeah, Dave is, not only is he just great at creating the characters, but he's also great at teaching how to do it. He's just got a great way of breaking things down into really, easily digestible pieces. Terry says hello from Fallston, Maryland, and there's Celeste. She says, Theo, Alliteration rules. Wayne says, how do you spell Simon's last name? S-I-N-E-K. S-I-N-E-K. Simon Sinek. Leaders, or I'm sorry, that was the book. Start with Why is the name of the video. And it's so old, it's even in like 4:3 ratio size. It's not like in widescreen. It's in like the square format, which is kind of gives you an idea of how old it is, but all the principles apply. Harold says, advice on how to find a way to break into television documentary voiceover work. That's going to be interesting. I've done several of those, but for the most part, for anything TV or broadcast, you usually have to have an agent. Usually. It's possible to get it other ways, but usually those jobs are going to be with an agent. So in order to get an agent, you have to have, of course, pro quality audio. You have to have pro quality demos. You have to have a good website. You have to have all your best foot forward on all those fronts before you even start reaching out to agents. But once you get an agent or 2 or 3 or 10, and it doesn't matter how many you get. In fact, the more you get, the more opportunity you may have, as long as they're not in competing markets. But yes, an agent is probably going to be your best bet in finding that. You can still get those every now and then on a pay-to-play site and stuff like that. But most of those kind of jobs are going to be through agencies. There's Jason from Kearney, Nebraska. Hey, there's Ralph chiming in a little late. That book is on my read list for next month. Awesome. Jim says, a younger, more nimble me used to skateboard back when there were places for it. Oh, there's still places for it. In fact, there are more places for it now than there ever have been in history. With skate parks becoming, as common as baseball fields. Well, not quite, but hopefully soon. But there's plenty of places to do it. Jason says, I've always loved movies, cartoons, and media. I've been acting since I was a kid. I couldn't take not voice acting anymore. I was watching my life slip away. So that is what I want to do with my life. That's great. And remember, voice acting is acting. In fact, I would be willing to say that voice acting is more difficult than camera or stage acting, because all you have is this to get your point across. You don't have costumes and facial expressions and sets and, all that. It's just you and just your mouth or just your voice. And so I would say that's harder to get a character across. And that's why Dave is so good at doing his thing, is because he has figured out and knows how to break it down and create those characters using just your mouth and not all the visual stuff that goes along with it. Harold says, I have a Heil Pro 40 microphone. Good for you. Dennis says, hi, Mike. What makes a shotgun mic appropriate for TV affiliate work? That's a good question. It's for one, it's very forgiving. Meaning it's a directional microphone, which means it only picks up what's right in front of it versus a lot of extraneous noises around. So whatever you sit in front of it is what it's going to be focused on. That's why you see on TV shows, like on talk shows or something, the microphone is just out of frame. It's right above and it's kind of pointing down. Is because when you point that thing down, it'll pick up what's right in front of it or below it. And that's what they use in the movies, for the boom guy who holds up the microphone like that. It's always usually a Sennheiser 416, which is this one right here. And so it's much more forgiving. As far as why for TV affiliate in particular, a lot of the TV affiliate work is very, what's the word? Emotive. You're trying to make sure that the listener or the watcher of the channel tunes in at a certain time for a certain thing, right? Tune in at 11 when we tell you why the food you're eating is going to kill you tomorrow. Things like that, where you're really you get that deep, rich kind of sound, and you want that to convey to the audience. So it's not a deal breaker if you don't have a shotgun mic. It's not like you won't be able to ever do TV affiliate work, but from the people who do it on a professional level, like Aaron Bradley, who teaches our TV affiliate boot camp, he is very much partial to the shotgun mic. Now, you don't have to spend $1,000 on one like this. There's some other lesser expensive versions. I'm not sure what they are right off the top of my head, but there are some lesser expensive versions of shotgun mics. So if you're interested in that, maybe do some research on that. Let's see. Jay says, good afternoon from Covington, Georgia. Ralph says, you taught me how to use NS1. I tried to use Adobe Audition's version, but I could hear artifacts. What settings do you use for Audition? I actually still only use NS1 for my, noise floor cleanup. But I have used the one for Audition, and I have not found it to be substandard at all to NS1. It actually works exactly the same. The one on NS1 is just called denoise. I'm sorry, the one on Adobe Audition is just called denoise. And it works exactly the same. It's a 0 to 100 scale, sliding scale, and you just adjust that to eliminate or to get down below that minus 60 dB, threshold that we're always trying to shoot for. If you can get down, below that, then you're good. Of course, if you're down below that organically without using a plugin, that's even better. But if you need a plugin, the one built into Adobe Audition is called denoise, and it's just that slider, and it's kind of trial and error. If you're hearing artifacts, then just adjust it a little differently and see what happens. Jay says, my why? So my voice can outlive me, and I don't want to work for anyone else anymore doing so. Yeah, that's nice too, right? Working for yourself, it can be a roller coaster ride, but boy, there's nothing better than being your own boss and having the freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. So that's a good why. Totally. There's Steven in Atlanta. Good morning to you. Steven says, so I'm thinking the TV affiliate program stuff won't be inside the blueprint anytime soon. No, it won't, because it is it's 12 hour and a half plus sessions, and the interactive part of creating the demo and doing the reads and stuff like that. So there's really not a way to package that to be a pre-recorded kind of thing that you can watch in the blueprint. We will do more of them though, because they are so successful in launching people into the TV affiliate world that we will do more. It's just that, we sold this one out at 15 people because we have to give everyone such personal attention. And so there's no way to really package that in a format to watch later. So, but we'll do another one. Jason says, I absolutely love my shotgun mic too. The dynamic range is incredible. I can whisper and scream and it gets everything. Yeah, that's another good reason, another good benefit to those. Oh, that's a good one. JJ says, my why is how much happiness audiobooks have given me, and I want to do that for others. That is a great one, JJ. If you personally have gotten a lot out of listening to audiobooks and you want to do that for other people, that is a perfect why. So could not have said that better myself. Okay, kids, I've got work to do. Plus I need to take our dog Ringo to the vet. He's got some sort of respiratory something or other that we got to figure out. He's 11 years old. So it's, he's at that age where if it's not one thing, it's something else, but he's worth it because he's my good little buddy. So we're going to take him here in a little bit. Anyway, hope you all have a great day. I'll see you back here for Hump Day tomorrow, and we'll talk about more voiceover stuff. Oh, got to mention Becky. She just hopped on. Hey, Becky. She says, my why is being Grandma Becky on Thursdays. All right. That's a good one. Anyway, hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. See you then.